Hi everyone, Mrs. Basega here, and today we're going to learn how to graph in Pivot and use it to make a best fit line. So in this example, we're doing a lab where we are graphing the area of a wire versus its resistance. So students would have already run through this demo, they would have paused it at the appropriate points and taken data. So let's say we go through that and we have our data table. It might be helpful for you to go to the Show Split Question view so you can watch the video as you record your data. But now that we've got the data, let's make our graphs. Notice in the table we have everything labeled. We have area. There are no units for area in this lab, so we'll skip that. But its symbol for area is A. Resistance is measured in ohms, and its symbol is R. So this student would get all the points for labeling their data table. So how do we turn this into a graph? Pivot will load up a blank graph, and what you'll need to do is click on each axis and assign the variable. So this was changing area. That's your independent variable, goes on the x-axis. And notice how it will automatically populate the title as area with blank units. On the y-axis, area affects the resistance of a wire. So select resistance column. And we're going to leave uncertainty blank, so don't worry about that for now. And hit done. Ta-da! It has plotted our things. Now, remember when you are graded for your midterm, I want your graph to be adjusted so that the data points take up more than 50% of the available area, so check. But I also want to see the 0.00, and I don't see that yet. So if you scroll your mouse, or in your case, your finger, to the side of your graph, you'll see this little arrow point up. What that arrow will do is adjust the size of your axis. So in this case, this starts at 2 and I want it to start at 0. So I'm going to scroll my finger over here until it makes a little arrow symbol, adjust it until I find 0, 0, and that looks good. So 0, 0 is included as a data point. I see all my data. There were only 4 data points in this trial. I'm going to click on the little settings bar and go to curve fit. So when I look at this, I know it's not proportional because as area goes up, resistance goes down. So I know it's not linear. It's not a quadratic because that would be curved upwards. So let's try an inverse and hit done. Man, that fits pretty nicely. And notice how this gives me my equation already. Instead of giving it to you in y equals mx plus b form, it automatically replaced the y-axis with r for resistance and the x-axis with a for area. So if I were to write this equation, it would say r is equal to 9.01 divided by a. Don't worry about the RMSE, that's root mean square. That's telling you how close of a fit this is, and that's pretty good. If you wanted to try an inverse square fit, you'd go back to curve fit, so hit the settings button, curve fit. You could go try an inverse square, but that doesn't fit as good. And notice that RMSE value increased. That means it's less accurate. So to sum it up, how do we do our graph? Once you get your data, label your data table. Go over to the x-axis and select which is your independent variable on the x, dependent variable on the y. Finally, go to this settings button, curve fit, and select the appropriate fit. This time it will give you the equation. All right, best of luck.